Hey, how you all
Alright.
going? It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here with Crank and with that metal station. Today I'm getting to have a chat with Craig Rossi from Drift into Black, doom metal band out of the US, whose latest album, Patterns of Light, is due 23rd of April, and it's the fourth album, I believe, for you, man.
Third full
Third?
length.
Full
Fourth
length was
release.
EP. Yeah, I wasn't sure whether to call that first one an EP. You know, sometimes you
EP,
look at these EPs, man, and they're like fucking 6 tracks long, and you look at the belter 6-minute long tracks, and you go,
I know.
man, that's an album almost. So
A doom metal single's an album, pretty much.
Cheers, man. Absolute pleasure. Thank you for joining me, man. Absolute belter.
Thank you for having me.
Absolute belter of an album, man. First off, man, for the uninitiated, can you tell me a little bit about who Drift into Black are? Because, we'll go from there.
I'm sorry, who Drift into, you cut off for a second.
Oh, yeah. Can you just give us a little rundown of who Drift into Black are, about your solo project and about yourself quickly before we launch into the...
Well, I was in a doom band called, I don't know if you ever heard of them, Gray Skies Fallen, for 18 years. And I recorded like 7 albums with them, just keyboards. And so, I went off and did my own thing. And I took kind of like 3 years off of music. And then I kind of got that itch again, that urge to play music. So I was like, let me come up with my own solo project. And, it wasn't serious at first, and then all of a sudden, I just, I recorded that one EP and it got a good reaction. So I'm like, I just kept writing. I never stopped, and then, the next album came less than a year later. And then a year later, the next album came. And now a year later, this album. So it's like, it's been nonstop. But yeah, mostly in the doom style. I like to kind of like lightly touch on other genres as well. So,
What was that like for you, saying coming over from keys and then into this project? What was that whole experience like for you at first? You go, no, I'm just writing
to be honest,
songs.
I didn't have much experience with the guitar prior to playing keyboard. So, I mean, it took me about 4 years to be decent on guitar. Decent, I think I'm below average, but I could write a song. But I think if you know how to play the piano, you know how to play the keyboards. It's kind of easy to pick up anything else. And as far as vocals, just watching my singer Grace Guys Fallen sing for many years, and I picked up a lot of good tips and a lot of good things he does, and I kind of incorporated that into what I do. So that was a big help. To be in a band that did both death vocals and really good clean vocals. So it kind of rubbed off on me a little bit.
So what was that process for you like when it comes to the lyrical content as well? You know what I mean? Like you being a keyboard player and the notes and the progression, everything, I'm sure the music side would have come easier, but what was the lyrics? Was that just as easy? Did that come just as easy for you, or what was that side like?
Lyrics are never easy. Lyrics are like, especially if you're recording an album that like every song is a different meaning, like you gotta like, I mean, if you don't have anything bad going on in your life, it's really tough to write, about bad stuff, unless it's stuff that you see in the news. So that's why I kind of like in writing concept albums, because I feel like you can come up with a story and each part of the story is a track on the album. And therefore you have your lyrics right there. All you need is a really, really good, decent story. And then you just go from there. And you got to be creative, I guess.
Yeah, well, doom metal has some really great concept albums, because I love putting in a doom metal album and listening to the start right to the end. And then I have these moments where I just kind of wander off. I've talked with other doom metal bands and I'll be finding myself, my thoughts will be fucking wandering off somewhere totally else, but then sonically through the music, it's crazy.
I know. But yeah, to me, like it's easy to write, like if it's a concept album.
Yeah. I'm noticing a little bit heavier, man. Kind of your first couple of albums, and I think Anthems from the Darkest Winter, it kind of feels like you went a little bit heavier with everything and with the vocal stylings and that as well. And killer Pink Floyd cover as well on that one, man.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, that was. I didn't want to fuck that one up. But um, I guess it depends on the material. I mean, yeah, I think Anthems is a heavier album than this latest one. I got a couple of soft songs on it, but I guess because the last Anthems really wasn't a concept album.
Yep.
This one is.
Yeah.
So therefore, there's different moods I got to touch on.
Yeah,
so,
but you had some real heavy points in this one as well compared to the first two albums. It feels like you've you had those first two, the EP and the album, and it feels with these two, with the Anthems and with this one, you have gone a little bit heavier with the vocal voicings as well. It feels like the instrumentation of the vocals.
Of course, yeah, by far, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I felt like, Shadow People, the first EP, it was definitely something I could build on.
Yep.
And I just got heavier and heavier. But I mean, I don't know how heavy I'm gonna go. I don't know. Maybe when I start smacking my instruments around, I don't know.
So what was this process like recording this album? What lot easier this time around compared to the first one? Can you tell me a little bit about your process with making this one?
You know what? It's funny. Yes, it was. Yeah. The first album, the first full length, Dead Suns Under the Forever Moon. It was kind of like a concept from personal experience. So lyrically, it kind of really it was difficult to write because of it came from something I was going through. But this new album, I woke up one morning and from a dream, and I was like, I woke up and I'm like, oh, I just had a dream that there's a mute girl. She's deaf and she only does sign language. She lives with her mother, they're being abused by the stepfather. They're trapped inside. The mother's the only one that she can sign to. And then he slowly poisons her mother to death. As he's doing that, she's sewing her own mother's burial gown, but she can't speak. So she's in the patterns that she's sewing, she's implicating her father in the murder of her mother. So there's a big twist at the end. And so she's next, her mother dies, she's next. And so it's either me or him, he kills me, or I take my own life. And so she takes her own life. And all her workings are they display all the abuse of her stepdad. Yeah. So basically, the people find out and obviously they, put him in the noose.
Yeah, the culmination at the end there with the number two, part 1 and 2, as it kind of leads out to the end of this.
Exactly. It came to me as a dream. I'm like, I looked over my wife. I'm like, I gotta fucking write this down. I'm gonna forget it. I just started writing it down. And another thing, what I like to do first before writing an album is I like to have the album cover done. If I have a concept, I want the album cover done first.
Yeah, okay.
I like really, really good artwork, and it kind of draws influence for me to like write an intro, and then that's just something weird about me. I like the artwork done first.
Yeah, well, it kind of makes sense as if you're telling a story through your albums with this concept of this story. You got this, where you look at the album cover and you kind of get an idea of it, or even books when you go to the cover of a story and you go, okay, then this is get my thought processes going as well, and then I'm ready to tell this story through this picture, because it is a really cool cover picture, that haunting image of, as you're saying there, she's painting that dress, that's sewing that dress on me, and it kind of looks like almost like a blood trail too. It come to me at first when I first seen it. I'm like, is that blood? And then you had a look, and it's like, no, it's stitching this dress.
Yeah. And I'm like, and the guy who did that, Alex from Mayhem Project, he's over in Russia. If you ever go to his Instagram, he does amazing stuff. And I told him everything I wanted. I told him the whole storyline in detail. It must have been like 2 pages long. And he was like, I know exactly what you want, right? And a week and a half later, he comes up with that. I'm like, holy shit, I almost fell out of my chair, So
how long did it take you to make this? Did you play all the instruments on this yourself this time around? Or?
I wrote all the lyrics. All the vocals, rhythm guitars, leads, and all the keyboards. Rick from Gray Skies Fallen, my prior band, he came in and he laid down two solos, the two guitar solos. Paul LaPlaca has been my bass player since the first album, and Clement Markel's the drummer. He's been the drummer since the first album. So the other guys have been like session musicians, that they kind of, they basically record on their own over my stuff and everything like that. So
So how long did it take you to make this album? Would have been a fairly in-depth process as well. A lot of hours behind the scenes. It's not just, okay, and here's my song, play an instrument, bang. People don't realize the amount of work, especially with a project like this, the amount of hours you put in. You'd be going to bed like at the craziest time. And
crazy. I started writing this album in November 2019, and by February, all the guitars were done, and in March, all the keyboards were done, and by I would say July, August, all the vocals were done, and then in September it was mixed and mastered, and then it took a long time. I started sending the rough demos to a couple of record labels and everything like that, which you should never do with an unfinished product. But I don't know. I just felt like people needed to hear it. And I thought it was that good, Tommy Stewart from Black Duma Records, he heard it and he was like, yo, I had called my wife in. He was like, you got to listen to this. And you're right. I like it. And the only thing is, I can't release it until like April of 2021.
Yep.
So and I could put it on vinyl and everything. So if you wait, then we could definitely get it out for you. And so I'm like, I'll shelve it for another 5 months, 6 months. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'll keep writing and
start working on my fifth one. It's like 4 albums in 4 years. It's not something that I suppose when you first made that Shadow People EP going, okay, I'm going to do 4 in 4 years. It would have been like, now you're probably sitting back going, fuck, I've done that now.
Yeah. But you know what it is, dude? You don't have 5 other guys that like, I can't make it to practice tonight. I don't have the money for this, that. You're dealing with one person, yourself. Yeah. So, and I own a home. I'm married, and at night I got nothing to do, so I just pick up the guitar and I just, on the weekends mostly, and that's it. Just write. So. And
I think you reached a point in your life where you were saying with Grey Skies Falling, you'd done that for so many years, and you kind of knew about all that side of things as well. So when you're reaching the age that we're reaching, I'm 41, going 41 as well. It's like you realize that, mate, we don't have a great deal of time left, probably just work our asses off. I'm the same. We own our own home. I'm married. I'm sitting at home just doing the same thing, talking to people like you, promote the scene as much as I can and trying to get behind it. You do. And I have spoken to a few musicians that are around our same age that just seem to be more fucking motivated now than when they were younger.
You know what? I guess, well, it depends how well known of a band you are. You have a lot more pressure too, to get things done and to get on the stage and to sell merchandise and stuff like that. There's a lot more pressure for. Then
when you're doing it for yourself, it's kind of like you're putting all that pressure. Yeah. It's just
exactly.
And if I'm not working, I'm not getting anywhere. It's like I'm only going to get as far as I'm willing to work and push this project.
Exactly. I mean, trust me, I would love to get Drift in the Black onto the stage eventually. I'm sure I'm going to get that itch at some point that I want to get on the stage and ensemble some musicians. So we'll see.
And the doom metal, man. So there's been some great doom metal bands getting around. Like, I just fucking loving the doom metal scene at the moment. It's crazy to try and keep up with it. And I've been doing a doom metal set each show I can't do every week. And I come across albums like yours. I'm like, fuck, man, I love doom metal, dude.
Dude, there's so many genres of doom metal out now. That's like Southern doom metal, the psychedelic 70s doom metal. I'm like, there's cool fucking wizards with half naked women like on the covers, like great cartoons, and I'm like, wow, wow. I wish I could do all of that. You know.
And you got vinyl for this one as well. I think I seen you on some vinyl. Vinyl's good, man. And I've noticed that like in the metal scene, vinyl's actually does all right. You know what I mean? Like people like me, last year I couldn't go to any shows like every other poor person in the world. So I went and bought a bloody heap of vinyl, got a record player, and I like, look, if I can't get the shows, it doesn't mean I can't support the scene and bands and buy vinyl, buy merch, and do more than, you know, and hopefully people listening are watching this going, you know, I'll fucking buy some album. Like jump over to Bandcamp. I've been spending heaps on Bandcamp. I've noticed Drifting to Black's all over on Bandcamp. So when you head over to Bandcamp and you buy the albums, like offer you through there, the money's going to you. Like whereas streaming platforms, I just had this conversation again this morning where it's even these big artists, you spend this amount of time in the studio recording, and then you basically go, here's my music for free.
You know what? And it's funny, I just posted something on Facebook that said The Burial Gown, the first single, has been released since January 28th, and it just broke 1,000 streams on Spotify. Just broke it. Like, where's my $7? I'm rich. I'm going to retire now.
But
you know,
that's the thing. I'm going to mention this again because it really did. I was listening to BBC. I listen to a lot of fucking news as well, man. And then I had ABBA talking about the dude Bjorn. I think it was Bjorn from ABBA going on. Even he's been because he represented, you know, he's some music body. He was going on about artists that they need to change even that streaming platform. I hate fucking Spotify. I'm sure they'll fucking run me over one day. And the dude from Spotify, I got you, Jai. I fucking got you. But for me, they need to change it a little bit. Like, you know, say the people that do spend their money on subscriptions, you know, if say I go spend some money on subscription on Spotify and I'm only listening to Drifting to Black, or I'm cranking a handful of doom metal bands, that my money should be going to the bands I'm listening to, not some Cardi B fucking whop shit on the fucking radio. You know what I mean? Like,
and here's the thing, you know, times like this where we're 2 years and not able to see a concert, you're going to have to give these artists like something, because how are they going to sell their merchandise? You know, like the only way that they're able to get any kind of revenue is online selling their merchandise or streaming services, you know? So
yeah, and if you can't play live, as you just mentioned, like you can't play live, like that's where a big bulk of your merchandise go. You would have known through Grey Skies Fallen when you used to play a gig, you go back behind the merch stand, people, your punters come up, say, "G'day, how you going?" And they may not necessarily been there to see you, but they'll buy a shirt off you if they fucking enjoyed your set, and then go away, tell a heap of their mates and things like that as well.
Yeah,
and if you don't have that interaction, it's, you know what I mean? But we've all got to be safe too. And that's where the government should have stepped up a lot more. You know what I mean? Everyone's going, oh, we needed shows.
No, I know.
We needed the governments around the fucking world to do more for the arts industry, because the arts industry is the one thing that got everyone through the pandemic. If we didn't have music, fucking movies, fucking art, then there would have been a lot more craziness going on in this world.
Exactly right. I totally agree. But like, as far as, you know, the vinyl is concerned, trust me, I can't afford vinyl. And Tommy Stewart gave me the opportunity to, you know, he gave me the chance to actually put out vinyl, you know. Vinyl. Oh man, it's so expensive. Like I would have never, my next one, if I'm not on that label, it's gonna be Digipack CD, you know what I'm saying? So
it would have been great for you to press some vinyl and see your album on some vinyl. Where's the best place people can go chuck in some pre-orders for that, man?
Drift in http://driftintoblack2.bandcamp.com.
I'll put the link in there as well. I'll put the link in
Drift into Black 2 is the Black Doomba Records artist page where you can pre-order the vinyl. So
and Black Doomba have some good doom and death metal bands on there. I have heard of them before.
Dude,
I've seen some of the
Gravehuffer and Dayglow Morning, really good.
Funny you mentioned Dayglow Morning. I was cranking that the other day on my show because of that one of the new tracks, man. Rips. And then I had one of my listeners go, I've got to hear another one, so I had to play another track on the next show, dude.
That riff in Dead Star, Oh my God, it's thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man.
It's a great album too, and that's the thing, like diving off the beaten fucking track and not just listen to the top bands, like going like Day Glow Morning, jumping into this Drift into Black. That's where the real musical journey and the fun begins for me.
Yeah, it's more of a gothic doom, you know.
Yeah,
I'm more of like a gothic doom, but I touch on a little bit of prog on that album too.
Yeah,
you know, I do some keyboard solos and stuff like that, you know, but then go right back to the doom, you know. So
yeah, it's cool, man.
I don't go too far off.
Too far. Yeah, I'm lucky I can dive around all over the place being in the scene I'm in. I'll be listening to some doom, I'll be going to some prog, there's some straight up death and some black and some so many different genres. Even it's hard for me to keep up with, man. I just go metal now.
Hell yeah.
Hard to keep up with. Film clip, man. I got to mention you got a lyric video, burial gown. Really, really cool. Done, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. That was done by YOD Multimedia.
Yep.
He did a couple of videos for me, and I did a lyric video for Thread of Hope, which is track 5 off the album, and myself. And then the music video that's coming out next week for Among the Beast, I did that myself too. Filmed and did all the editing and all the effects and everything like that. I try to do everything myself.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd mention that, man, because I'm going to share that one as well when that one drops next week, man. I'm looking forward to
awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, this has been an absolute pleasure, man. I'm going to let you get about the rest of your day. Fucking any last words, shout outs or thank yous you'd like to add in there, man, or anything I may have forgot you want to chuck in?
Shout out to Tommy Stewart, Black Doom Records, man, for, you know, taking a chance and putting my shit out, you know. This is great, you know. So that's basically it. And shout out to the guys who you know, Clement, Markelj, Rick and Paula Plaka, who contributed, man, because without them, like they really added 80% of what I do. You know.
It's an absolute beast of an album. Everyone go out there, grab the Patterns of Light. Comes out 23rd of April. You're going to want to put it in your stereo and turn up really loud. The neighbours are going to want to hear this too. Craig, thank you very much for joining. Craig and that metal station, man.
Yeah, man, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Cool. Done. Cool, man. Did you want to lay down a tag for the station as well?
Like, yeah, definitely. What do you want me to say?
Just a station tag. Just say, I'm Craig from Drift into Black, and you're listening to that metal station, and I can chuck it in the rotation if you like. It'll go on it's a US based station. I'm the only crazy Aussie they've got.
Definitely. that metal station, right?
That metal station, man. Yeah, and it'll just go into the fucking audio rotation. So kind of give the band a little bit of a plug as well.
All right. Hey guys, this is Craig from Drift into Black, and you're listening to that metal station.
Done, brother.